We got a taste last month for the state of origin. Ruck changes, last touch, and the sub rule is gone once again. It all kicks off tomorrow night with Charlie facing his former Blues, with the experts saying the flag is the Suns or the Lions to lose. So we go again. The big marks and goals, the ups and downs, and all the thrills. And just a quick apology to my wife for leaving the house to the pies and the will. Back for another huge year in 2026. This is the award-winning Midweek Rub with a man who was very busy in the back rooms last trade period, the consigliere of the St Kilda Mafia, Joey Montagna.
Hello, Rabs here. Good early season form by you, and you're right. We have to defend the title, the best podcast. Unusual for me to have to defend the crown, but I've sharpened up over the summer. Hold it up. Here we go. Yeah. Sharpened up and high expectations, but I think we can live up to it.
The pin-up boy for our joint venture now between Triple M and Channel 7 is Daisy Thomas.
Good to be back, boys, and yes, I agree. It's going to be good. We have to defend, and we will. Bigger and better. Some of us in size, mainly me, but not Damo. My goodness, I know you'll get to him. Geez, you're looking grouse.
Oh, the Texas trekking, tequila drinking, steel shifting footy media icon, Damien Barrett is here as well.
Hello, boys. Hello, boys. I'm worried about that Channel 7 arrangement. Days.
Why so?
It may be that I'm a little bit quieter this year.
Yeah, and you're the conduit, Days. You're going to have to make sure there's no beef between anyone at Triple M and anyone at Channel 7, not naming names.
No, we just shift our attention to Fox. That's all this means. This means we don't look in, we look out.
So I'll be doing all the defending
yes,
this year.
Absolutely. But, Damo,
you look amazing.
You look terrific. You've had a real, not a rebrand, but tequila drinking, and you've been in the strong room. You've put on some size in terms of muscle.
I've added another vice to the vices. Yeah, the tequila's been introduced to the other vices I've got, which involve red wine as a primary starting point. But I managed to get a little bit of fitness in.
So when you drink tequila now, does that mean one of the other drinks take a backward seat, or is it just added to the reds? It's sort of a red and a tequila combination.
Probably just consume a little bit more when I now get that past Joey. So no, I have backed right off. So it's good though. It's a good drink, tequila.
Very nice.
Well, we know what Damo's been up to. He's been over in the US with Hutchie. He's been shifting steel. What about you two, Joey?
Pretty low-key summer. Yeah, just a lot of time with 3 young kids. So that was taking up a lot of the time. Glad school's back and we can get back into the routine and footy back. But otherwise, just doing a bit of NBL commentary, which was fun. But now we turn our attention to the footy.
I saw when I walked into this building today, for the first time officially, it's about to go on air in 2026, the Mafia back at play. They were in the corner just discussing Sunday night's game.
Yes.
Big Rui and Joey.
It's been a massive off-season for the Saints. Like, you guys have gone from, well, not nowhere, but to the most relevant football club. Yeah. You've got the coach of the side that's going for a three-peat, worried about you guys and who you're paying and how you're paying them.
Just awoken and the beast. We've awoken the beast, which is St Kilda Footy Club. They're coming, Damo.
I'm nearly on board, Joe.
I've been listening to you. You've been trying to white ant the Saints. They have to win a final this year.
They do, though.
All the pressure's on them. And then I see your predictions today. You put them 12th. So do you think they're going to win finals, or you think they're not? And are you on board? What are you trying to do?
Pay too much attention to predictions. We have to put all that together. So
Where are
you
put them, the Saints, because you're putting pressure on them, saying they have to win a final this year.
You cannot do what you've done as a footy club and not make finals, Joey. Do not start.
They didn't just draft these guys for 1 year. It's a 3 to 5 year plan.
Oh, Joey, please. Come on, mate.
It's early.
No, you've got to make and win a final as a pass mark.
And I don't want to be the naysayer. Has anyone gone forward to Sunday night? And if it's not a great result?
Oh, here we go.
85,000. We've got everyone. We've got Nasiah the Messiah.
Tail between the legs.
We've got TDK.
Saints home game.
Biggest crowd ever.
The only game in Melbourne.
Oh, yeah, good blokes.
We've got
record
membership.
Just be happy for us for once.
Rui's
60 years we've been in the doldrums, and there's a little bit of energy and positivity, and you're trying to kick it down already.
You're talking about 5-year plans.
What's been a 60-year plan? What's another 5?
Rui's flown in people from Texas to get the numbers up, to inflate the membership numbers. This is incredible.
It's going to be fun.
Like we've never seen.
We're going to have a lot of fun this year.
And what about you, Daz? You held the rush hour together?
I was going to say, you should be needing a break already.
Almost do, yeah. No, the rush hour with Bill, which is always good fun. And apart from that, not a whole lot. As you say, sort of anything revolving around family. And this time of year, or that time of year, is the trade-off. I won't see the wife until October now. Yeah. So once October rolls around again, we'll get to know each other. Turns out she's quite nice.
Well, it all kicks off tomorrow night. It's a huge clash between Sydney and Carlton, and then it's St Kilda, Collingwood, bookending opening round. We'll get your tips later on in the show. But up next, it is Damo's News. No games been played, already been to the tribunal, plus a couple of debutants for the Blues. That's coming up next on Triple M Footy's Midweek Rub. Back for another massive year in 2026. This is Triple M Footy's Midweek Rub with Joey, Daisy and Damo. Fair dinkum or fugazi, and the opening round predictions still to come. But Damo, let's kick off with some news, and we've already been to the tribunal.
Yeah, so we haven't even played one game in anger this season, and there's already confusion around what the MRO, the Match Review Office, wants to be deemed an illegal/dangerous tackle against what the tribunal, when the lawyers get involved, deem it to be. I raised that because of what happened with John Newcombe last night. I think most people who have followed this game for a long period of time are happy that John Newcombe has got off the dangerous tackle charge he laid on Ed Richards last Friday. But in lining up that action with what I felt the AFL was trying to tell us in the off-season, and Michael Christian spoke very, very openly about everything a couple of weeks ago on a few media platforms, I feel we've just already gone back to how it was as opposed to what they wanted it to be. And here we are before even opening round starts. I feel we've got confusion already in the Match Review Office / tribunal on the sling tackle.
It's a good call. I'm glad that John Newcombe's playing. We want him there for opening round, but I was conditioned to believe if you pinned the arm and had that action, it was going to be a week suspension. So it's confusing for me already. I don't know what it means going forward, Daisy, but already we're having these issues where the AFL think one thing and the tribunal then change its mind or overrule and left us hanging in the middle.
The outcome, I think, is correct, and he shouldn't have got suspended for it. But, yeah, it's the same as you. If you get an explanation and these are the criteria and that tackle fitted every one of them.
Every single one.
Yeah. And then you go, no, off you go.
Yeah, we'll let the lawyers...
Is this now new leniency on the how they've sort of backed off the concussion and what constitutes a medium impact that they've changed with some instance that maybe this is the first case of saying, well, it wasn't severe enough to be a medium impact?
Which I think is good.
Potentially, yes.
If that is what was taken into consideration, because John Newcombe had Ed Richards in a vulnerable position.
Yeah.
Like he could have dead set, thrown him into the deck and then you're concussed. So he was as cautious as you could be. But again, it's arm pinned, Ed hits ground.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just a big advocate for or believer of you be absolutely staunch with whatever the rule it is you want. And we've seen the actual rules themselves in match with the last touch out of bounds and the new arrangements around. The players will adapt so quickly it's not funny. But with this and the grey around this, they've still allowed to have scope in certain situations, which I think is confusing it. Carlton. Jagga Smith, we have known now for some weeks he's going to be making his debut. I think equally significantly from a Carlton Footy Club perspective is the also debut of Harry Dean, the son of the great Peter Dean, a famous Carlton player and a lovely guy to deal with over many, many years at that footy club. He gets his debut game tomorrow night alongside Jagga Smith.
Well, Jagga Smith is the superstar. We know that, and that's not saying... Sometimes we pump these things up. If he gets a clean run at it, he's going to be Nick Dacos-like, and I'll happily put that out there. I think we saw a little glimpse of it against the Putty Cats of what he can do, and it was almost last year when he went down, that was almost indicative of the Blues season. His knee goes down, and then they didn't get going. So there's a lot of responsibility on his young shoulders. I love the fact still, and already, they're giving him the ball. Yeah, Nick Dacos, he gets it. People want to give him the ball because they know already he's making better decisions than what some of the older players will do. And Harry Dean looks like he's been there and done it plenty of times already. So what a great opportunity to go up to the SCG. And there's a bit of spice in this one too, obviously, with the Swans boys who are part of the trade and Charlie Curnow as well.
Yeah, it'll feel weird for, I think, Will Hayward and Ollie Florent because they didn't really want to leave Sydney. So that'll feel strange. And it'll be interesting to see the reception that Charlie Curnow gets. But for the Blues, it's a new season, new look team. There'll be, up to 8, 9 new faces really that we haven't seen much of, either new to the club or didn't play a lot last year. Guys like Elijah Hollands as well. So we wish Michael Voss and the Blues all the best. Always better for the competition when Carlton are up and about. I think we can all agree with that. So hopefully they start the season well.
Flaggers. It's home. They're beating Brisbane. They're beating the Cats. They played in the grand final.
Daisy, come on.
No, Joey. It's simple. It's footy math. Don't look too far into this. It's footy math. Blues win the flag.
Today's a day where the AFL Commission meets and discusses a lot of big picture issues. One of those, I'd imagine, will be a debrief on the State of Origin match that was played in Perth a couple of weeks ago and the success of it from a spectacle and an embracing of the concept by all of the players. But part of that debrief will need to factor in the injuries that were sustained in it and the fact that it was effectively the first proper hard hit out of all these players playing in a exhibition sense, not for their clubs. I raise that because we've seen players now missing matches of opening round and round one. Sam Taylor, Matt Rowell, Sam Darcy, we don't know what's happening there. Barris has also got an injury cloud over him. Jacob Wiedering had a very big problem. He's now going to be playing. Paddy Dangerfield likely to miss for Geelong. Dacos was sore. Nick Dacos was sore. Bradley Hill was also sore. So there's up to 10 to 12 players. There may be more who are sustained injuries in this game. It needs to be factored into the overall debrief on this.
First one, you're now an advocate because we debated on this show last year. You weren't a fan of State of Origin. Have you come around?
I've always loved the fact that that's the time of year it had to be played for the players to embrace it. And they did that even in a way that was far greater than I thought, Joey. So I misread the embracing of it in that regard. I don't know whether we need it every single year, but I think now we've seen some injuries and we know the coaches and the clubs ultimately will have a say in this, and they need to because they pay the players and their whole form and season depends on these players being available. So that will be part of it.
Yeah, Days. I don't think we need it every year. I think we want to keep it a bit scarce to keep it really important. There's two factors. One, they probably played it a bit too high of an intensity. Too many minutes is the feedback they got, and I think there was some circumstances because players got injured early in the game. They had to play more. The game length was probably a bit too long for that sort of intensity at that time of year. But the other thing, Daisy, that everyone's probably the thing that has maybe impacted some of the injuries is everyone got out in the sauce afterwards. They all had a night out, which they should have, because when you get together like that, you go and have a few drinks. But as you know, your first hit out, you are sore. If you then go and have a night on the booze, it can drag out a little bit. So I reckon there was just a number of factors that have led to so many players pulling up really sore from this game, and I think they can adjust and do it better in the future.
I think a lot of them are a victim of how good they were. In terms of that ball was humming around to levels that doesn't happen. In a preseason game, your first hit out, it's usually scrappy after half time and then, fatigue comes into it. It wasn't that at all. It would continue just to fly around, and that's what happens when you have the best players out there. You end up going at a velocity that you're probably not used to for the entirety of 4 quarters, and rightfully so, they pulled up sore. I'm not sure about the drinking, if that added to it. I never did a soft tissue and I went out most times after games. So.
And occasionally during the week,
Occasionally more than once.
At a club function.
Got caught once. Unlucky.
We were jovial about it before, St Kilda v Collingwood Sunday night, but it is such a big moment, isn't it? In the AFL calendar. I mean, it's the 5th game of opening round. It's the additional Melbourne game of an opening round with the AFL introducing this way of starting a new season 3 years ago. But yeah, 90. Do we think 90?
I think 90. Yeah. I think 90 is realistic, yeah.
And as much as we'll joke about St Kilda and what they've done, it's awesome. They have gone out, they've been big, they've been bold, their chips in. I've got to admire it. As a footy fan, you've got to say, right, fair enough. All you want from your football club is giving yourselves the best chance to compete and compete deep into September, whether it's this year, next year, or however many years to come. They've done that. And for that reason, they deserve to, we want a Sunday night. We want 85,000. Good on you. Now it becomes, though, bring it on game day, and well done to all.
Yeah, and these clubs that, it's more the Marvel tenant clubs, don't necessarily get the massive MCG games like the big 4 or 5, Melbourne clubs that we know of. So an opportunity for St Kilda to showcase the new team and play in front of what will be their biggest home and away crowd ever in the history of the footy club. Wow. It's pretty significant for them. So hopefully they put a good showing out there, and they're going to celebrate the 1966 premiership as well. So it's a 60-year anniversary. So there's a lot going on, but hopefully it's going to be a good spectacle. I can't see why it wouldn't be.
Yeah, and 60. If you take this back 3 years ago or thereabouts, when Andrew Bassett first went down the path, maybe 2 years ago, of advocating for Victorian clubs or clubs that were then being disadvantaged by access by other clubs to the academy systems and the father-sons. And I feel there's a significant shift in the past 6 to maybe 12 months on the overall view of that. And I think he's now got a lot of support from a lot of other Melbourne clubs that he didn't have initially when he went down this campaign.
And they've been bold. I mean, they copped a lot of flack for it, and they made no apologies that they wanted to get on the front foot and wanted to stand up for their club, and basically saying that if they want to try and compete for a flag, they need some things looked at. Of course, they're looking at their own backyard and the decisions they make as a club, but there is also a lot of inequities, we understand, with the competition, and they've been on the front foot. They've copped their whack, but as you said, other clubs are getting on board. But now for the team, it's about putting the performance on the field and trying to win some games.
We'll get your tips for that game and every game from opening round soon on Triple M Footy's Midweek Rub. But up next, it's fair dinkum or fugazi. Opening round predictions coming up next, but right now it's time for this.
Now on the Midweek Rub, it's fair dinkum or fugazi, it's a wazi, it's a woozy, it's a...
Kicking off with you this year, Joey Montagna. With no Petrarca, Oliver, May and a new head coach, D's fans should be excited about their new look club.
Yeah, I think that's fair dinkum. I think they've got no choice, to be honest. But I think it is an exciting time for the club. I think Stephen King will bring a bit of freshness with the way they play, particularly offensively. I like some of the kids they've drafted. I really do. I think Xavier Lindsay and Caleb Windsor, Harvey Langford. They've still got Cozzy Pickett, one of the most exciting players in the game, along with other good, solid players. I think Melbourne will surprise a few teams this year. I'm not ruling them out of sneaking into a wild card spot.
Daisy, fair dinkum or fugazi, we can no longer call the start of a game the opening bounce.
That's fair dinkum, and we need to come up with a catch cry because the opening throw-up doesn't...
I'll throw up!
Terry Wallace.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. Just play that as the ball's about to go up. It has lost a little bit in that regard.
When's tip-off?
Yeah, different
Well,
code,
that's
though.
basketball,
Yeah.
though, really.
It's centre ball
So,
up.
Centre ball up.
Yeah.
Is that what you're going to...
Yeah.
That's
Keep working on it, Joey.
Well, that was good.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
No.
Damo, heading into the 2026 season, Queensland is the dominant footballing state.
Yeah, that's fugazi. Sorry, fair dinkum.
whoa,
Fair
whoa,
dinkum.
whoa, whoa.
Fair dinkum. Well, 3 grand finals in a row, and I think people sometimes forget they lost the 2023 grand final, the Lions, by a kick and had the ball in their own 50 when the siren went, and then went on to win 2024 and 2025. Have been in finals since 2019, and then we saw what happened last year with the Suns making and winning a final against the Dockers in Perth, and then adding to that mix the Christian Petrarca element. So, yeah, it's a fair dinkum.
Joey, one of the new rules or rule interpretations will be dialed back before the end of the season.
Which one?
Well, any of
Oh,
them.
you're asking one of the new
open-ended.
rules will be dialed back.
That's already happened with the faking out of the ruckman.
Yeah, the ruck one they'll still tinker with, I think, because it only affects basically 3 players on the ground. There'll be 2 ruckmen each team. They can discuss that. But I
Are you
think
talking about the centre bounce ruck? Not arriving at the around the ground?
The centre bounce
Yeah.
one might be something they can adjust throughout the season because, as I said, it doesn't affect all the players in the competition, was what I was trying to stumble out. Just the ruckman. But otherwise, I like all the rules. I think all of them are going to really help the game.
I thought the last touch rule was going to be more obvious throughout the preseason, but you didn't really notice it, did you?
And by round 3, it'll just be part of the game. We'll just keep rolling with it.
Damo, this is Jacob Hopper on the rush hour yesterday with JB and Bill.
I don't know. I'm not massive on the round 0. I don't know if I can say that as an advocate of the game. But
Be honest.
yeah. No, I think I prefer just thinking round 1's still round 1 a bit.
I think Toby Nankervis said something similar on SEN. So my question to you, fair dinkum or fugazi, the AFL need to sell opening round better to everyone, including players.
Yeah, I feel that's fair dinkum. And just personally, I agree with Jacob Hopper and have had that same view since they introduced it 3 years ago. I've just got a pretty strong view, and it's a simple one, that when you start a new season, I feel you need to involve every club and the supporter groups of every club. Now, I know why they've done it, and I don't knock them for having a go at it, but it doesn't quite line up when you introduce the St Kilda Collingwood game to what was initially a Northern Markets pursuit.
Daisy, the Blues players will be in Charlie Curno's ear all night tomorrow night.
Hopefully. I love the theatre that's going to come with this. I'm not sure who's going to be the one, or if they are in this day and age, to go up and start pushing him around.
Who would do it for Carlton?
Well, Wiedering's, if plays, will be on him.
Wiedering doesn't seem like the
Yeah,
yappy type.
no. Well,
Nick Newman, maybe? Would
No,
someone
well,
like...
he's clubbered someone in the preseason, so he
Oh,
won't
of
be
course.
there.
Not
Yeah.
playing,
No, Wiedering's got enough mongrel in him.
Love Harry Dean to go up and have a word to him.
Cripper?
Wouldn't that be good?
Well, yeah, that
Peter
could've-
would have.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because, as we know, the modern game and players high-fiving each other, and it's all the big love in and the ball goes up and we all play nice. I demanded a lot last year that the Blues had come out and hit an opponent after it was North Melbourne who did that exact thing to them and then rolled them. I know I'm going back a bit. Scars still haven't healed. But I'd love to see it. Probably not going to happen, though.
Who gave it to you most when you returned to the fray against Collingwood?
Most of them.
And the fans.
Yeah, from both sides. Piss off.
Joey,
Yes.
St Kilda's pre-season bears a striking resemblance to the 2004 Wizard Cup triumph.
Well, look at you all.
Don't smile.
Hopefully it does, because I think 2004 Saints won
Did you
the
win the
first
flag?
No, we won the first 10 games of the season
66.
and played in a prelim.
Yeah.
So if it's anything to go by, hopefully it is like the 2004 Wizard Cup.
This one's from Jasper, our digital guru out there. Daisy, the only benefit of opening round is we have 13 games to watch before West Coast.
Oh, it's facetious, but it's fair dinkum. God, Jasper.
Well, speaking of Jasper, Joey, Triple M Footy digital creator Jasper needs to get his head out of the gutter when reporting on Sam Cumming.
What's happened?
Yeah, that's fair.
No Cumming for a
He's-
month was the headline.
He's out for 4 weeks.
He's out for a week, a month, yeah.
That's right. He's trying to bring the station down, Jasper. We've done so much work, Jasper, to build this brand. Get your head out of the gutter and stop dragging us down. Better than that.
We are better than that. The
He's
likes,
actually not.
No, he's not.
And I'm not sure we are.
Well, speaking of Jasper, his man, Nathan
Jeez,
Brown,
he's getting some airtime on
and
Jasper.
Jack Heverin should be very, very worried, Damo.
Pitneck wins it down clearly. Atkins goes in. Quick handball back to De Koning. Errant in that. Walsh coming through the other way. Gets it to Jagga Smith. He's taken immediately by Manor, and the umpire says, boys, I'll have it. Thank you very much.
Good start. Gee, that was crisp.
Gee whiz.
Sign him up.
There are going to be some very nervous people in the industry right now.
Oh,
because
Nathan Brown, hope he's not listening.
As if he couldn't do it all.
I like that. I'm going to give that a fair dinkum. And when you posed that question without the audio, I was aware of the audio at that point. Being aware of the audio at that point, I thought you were going to throw to your own audio
No,
from
yeah,
Sunday
no,
They're
night.
not worried about me.
Because
No,
I was
they're
in the
not.
car on Sunday and you were broadcasting
And
too.
very
Well
good
done,
too.
Rabs. Hey, just quickly too, Daisy and I, we're worried about Brownie, what's happened to him over summer. So we're going to have to discuss that on the Sunday rub.
Got a beard.
He looks like he's been living in a cave.
He looks like the crypto crash.
Has really got to him.
I wanted to wear that on the Sunday Footy
He
show.
looks weathered and he looks run down, Damo. We've got to find out what's happened to poor Brownie
There
over
is
summer.
a chance, though, between when we've raised this with him last week and opening round,
Might look different.
that,
A couple of needles.
I'll just call it. He's going to go get some Botox.
Daisy, this one's from a North Melbourne Football Club supporter group. This is on the goal kicking against Collingwood. Just a thought. After we kicked 12-18 yesterday, is it possible that the new Arden Street Metro Tunnel has affected the balance of the ground, leading to players kicking? Also hit the post 3 times yesterday. Food for thought. Fair dinkum or fugazi?
No, that's fair dinkum. You can't be analyse too much what happens when there is a tunnel put underneath the surface, the way that the ground slopes, and then how that affects players. Shut up, North. Fugazi, maybe just understand that it was blowing absolutely sideways and it was Ballarat.
It was. Joey, we've been sleeping on our man Damo as a comedian.
Can you make the grand final in 2026?
You're quite funny, Damo.
Rossi, that reminds me of the "You're quite brilliant" Shane. I'm not sure.
I heard that too.
That was quite condescending,
I
wasn't it?
think he wanted to wind it up. I think we're 36 minutes in there.
What was the question you asked him?
Can you make...
We just played it.
Did the question say, "Can you make the grand final"?
Yeah.
What were you listening to?
So I listened to Ross Lyon's bit.
we'll be better for the run today.
I tell you, you can put it on the table now. Rossi's going to be absolute
At his
must-watch.
best. He'll be at his best this year, Rossi.
All right, finally with you, Damo. This is Peter Volandi's last week.
Yeah, look, next time we're going to make sure that the plane's not serviced by the AFL engineers. That's what's happened, I think. They've spiked the air conditioner.
And this is him last year.
We have a thing called Magic Round. All of a sudden, there's a gather round. I thought, what are they gathering? What are they gathering, sticks and stones? I read in the paper this week that they've got this new investment policy. It's the NRL's investment policy. So keep copying us. You won't beat us, but you can keep copying us. That's fine.
Now, I know you're personally a fan of Volandis and the way he goes about things, but the AFL needs to appoint a CAO, Chief Antagoniser Officer, to return serve to Peter Volandis.
Fair dinkum. We might need to get Gill as a consultant back now that he's no longer, I suppose, tied officially to the game, and just to have him throwing pot shots back, because it does need something to put PVL back in his box at times. You're right, I do like him revving things up, but I think the AFL needs to respond in ways they haven't yet.
I wouldn't mind us copying him going to Vegas as well for opening round. That might be all right. Speaking of opening round, we'll get all your tips next on Triple M Footy's Midweek Rub. Don't forget you can catch every single game across opening round on Triple M and the Listener app starting tomorrow night with the Thursday rub ahead of Sydney versus Carlton from the SCG with Jack Hever and Isaac Smith, Jude Bolton, Jay Clark and James Brayshaw on that game. And let's start with that game for your tips. Joey Montagna, Sydney versus Carlton.
I'm pretty bullish on the Swans this season. I think they'll hit the ground running. They look sharp. They look ready. I think they will beat Carlton and they'll win pretty well. They'll make a statement.
I'm with you on the Swans and the overall 2026 expectations, Joey. I don't feel the bottom is going to fall out of Carlton like I think a lot of people do, but in this game, the Swans.
Very much drinking from the same cup as you boys. I think it'll be the Swans comfortably. I hope the Blues put up a decent show because for them and their fans, obviously the coach is going to be under more and more pressure and they've got nowhere to hide within that first 6 weeks. They've got Thursday and Friday night games as part of that, so they need to start well and build some confidence, but I think the Swans are the side that bounces this year.
Damo, Gold Coast versus Geelong. This is going to be a huge game on Friday night. The Cats potentially missing a few.
Yeah, and Dangerfield's the latest name now who's expected to miss that game on the back of a niggle in recent weeks. It's hard to go past Gold Coast. I'm thinking, I still feel Geelong will be there right at the pointiest end of the season yet again, but I feel they'll start slowly, and for that reason, Suns in this one.
I am disappointed that it looks like it's going to be hosing down. I would have loved to have seen a nice fast deck up there and what the Gold Coast Suns could do, and equally how Chris Scott would be trying to stop them. I think this one will be as much one in the coach's box as it will be one on the ground because the talent that the Gold Coast Suns have at the moment is unmatched. I think they win it, but in these conditions, I don't think it's a true or fair understanding of where they're both at.
Yeah, hard to get a read. I agree with Daisy. Both teams have looked a bit sluggish pre-season. There's reasons for that. Geelong play the long game. Gold Coast have started their match sim a bit later. No Rao's going to be a big out. Cats have got some outs. Weather. It's a toss of the coin. I'll take Gold Coast because it's at home, but this is a good game. In punting terms, you're watching a race, Daisy. You just sit back and watch and see what you take out of it.
Well, speaking of injuries, the Giants, they've got a raft of them already, and they're up against the Hawks at NG Stadium on Saturday afternoon, Days.
Yes, and there is a bit more spice in this one too. They don't like each other, and I love that. I'm probably going to lean towards the Hawks purely because of the list that they've got, and it's going to be as close to full strength as you could imagine without Will Day, of course. The Giants, the key personnel out. Never good, but wait and see. No confidence, Hawthorn.
Almost 9 or 10 of their best 23 for the Giants out. The John Newcombe, I think, decision sways me to Hawthorn. If he had been out, you looked at Hawthorn's midfield and thought, gee, maybe the Giants at home. But I think Hawthorn really, they should be winning this game. Knocked them off in the final last year up there. So it'll be on, but Hawks.
Same logic and rationale to the previous two guys in that one. Hawks for me.
Saturday night, it's Brisbane versus the Western Bulldogs at the Gabba, Joey.
I'm also big on the Western Bulldogs this year. I think they'll be around about the top 4 team. I think they're playing beautifully pre-season, but Brisbane at the Gabba, you're not going to tip against them this year. The new stand rule is going to take their ball movement to another level. They are just pinging that ball around from end to end, so how are you going to tip against them?
There's going to be up to 10 players unlucky to miss in the early rounds of football for the Brisbane Lions. And for that reason alone, depth, I'm going to be confidently tipping them first up against the Bulldogs.
Hard to go past. They've won the last 2 flags by 8 goals and 10 goals, and then they get better with what they've brought in, and they've got a host of players who are going to mature with the age profile. I'm firmly in the camp of it's theirs to lose in the entirety of the season, and they should be winning this.
Spoke about this game already a little bit, Damo, but St Kilda versus Collingwood at the MCG. Cap off opening rounds.
I've nearly, in the past 48 hours, swung back to St Kilda, but I'm sticking with Collingwood to open the season with a win in front of 92,368 people.
Oh, we'll check that.
Collingwood for me too. I hope the Saints show up. And there's part of me for the Saints that hopes they actually win because it would be, everything we've spoken about before, but I'll just tip the Pies.
Saints morals, and they're more than welcome to jump on the Saints train as the year unfolds.
I told you, I'm on the back of the train. I'm not near the front.
You can jump on as the year goes on.
Okay. Where's the train going though? Seaford or?
Oh.
All right, before
to the promised land.
The promised land. Before we go, of course, every other team has a bye this week. Let's get one big call for opening round, Joe Montagna.
My big call is Joel Amartey steals the show. Everyone's going to look at Charlie Curnow, think he's going to kick 5 or 6. I think Joel Amartey, with the matchups that he'll get and all the attention on Curnow, I think he'll kick 4 or 5 and be the man at the SCG.
There's two guys who've played 4 seasons of footy who are superstars by the name of Naz Wanganeen Miller and Nick Dacos, but there's a guy who's got 20 seasons behind him who I think is going to be best on ground on Sunday night, Scotty Pendlebury.
Nice.
Probably should have put some more.
That's your big call.
That is my big call. I don't know. What do you want? Nothing's jumping off the page except Charlie.
Oh, we've got time to work on this one, Daisy. As the year unfolds. Got to think about it for next week.
Over-under wins for the season. Your old team, Carlton.
Oh, there's a big call.
What's the pass mark?
Pass mark, I reckon 11.5 should be the pass mark. So 12 wins.
Okay.
That gets you somewhere around the conversation of being in 10th to try and play finals, I believe.
Damo, what's the pass mark for North Melbourne this year?
Oh, North Melbourne chat. This is going to
11.
11? A pass mark?
But what?
Tequila for breakfast. Well, that'll bloody do me.
But what does anything less than 11 get you?
You've won 5.
That would get you into a wild card this year.
It's Clarko's 4th year. Are you aware of that?
Yes. Yeah. His total wins are what? 13 in 3 years.
Oh, well, let's have a 7-win season. Go North.
Save Kilda, Joe, before we wrap this thing up.
18.
13's the number. So 13 or more gets them into the wild card weekend, which I agree with Damo. They should be playing at least a wild card weekend. If they win less than 13, that'll be disappointing.
Well, you can hear every single game across opening round right here on Triple M and, of course, the Listener app, kicking off tomorrow night with the Thursday Rub, head of Sydney versus Carlton from the SCG. This has been Triple M Footy's Midweek Rub. Joey, Daisy and Damo.
11 wins.